Good morning, Heather.
Hello,
We,
Jason. How are you?
how are you in this frozen tundra, otherwise known as Houston, Texas?
Yeah, the Arctic
Which
blast,
the
you see
Arctic
behind me.
blast. Yeah, I mean, we had snow flurries on Monday morning when I got up. Like that's just unheard of. So crazy. But we
Yeah,
did have snow 2 years ago.
and ice and a little bit of snow. Yeah,
Yes, I saw the snow. But your backdrop is not so faux now. I mean, we actually
I
had
know.
snow, so you could actually argue that probably somewhere in Texas, probably more what
East
East
Texas. Yeah.
Texas, there's it could look like that.
Oh yeah, I know Tyler got snow. So
Yeah, there's a lot of snow that was going down there. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. We've been included in the Arctic blast, and it has been cold. I mean, it's been not as cold as some other places, but when I got up on
well,
Monday morning, I think it was like 19. It was cold.
yeah, and I heard on the news that when we were at 19 degrees, Alaska was 19 degrees.
Oh,
So
wow. So we
yeah,
were as cold as Alaska.
right.
Wow. Well, interesting because a lot of world leaders are gathering at Davos. And so we've been like at 20 degrees this morning. And then I saw in Davos, it's 42 degrees there. So it's warmer in Davos than it is in Houston, Texas. Well,
Huh.
just interesting tidbit for you.
So that's my
We're
first
just
thing I learned today.
Yes, we're just full of interesting tidbits. And the other tidbit we're going to talk about, and I think we have a slide just to put up and talk around it, don't we? Or did we do a slide?
We did
No,
not do a slide.
we just did the teaser, as they call in the business.
Yes.
The teaser. So the teaser was to talk about the fact that in 2023, companies stopped doing a number of things. They were skeptical, I think, of potentially where the economy was going, and I think there's still some skepticism.
Hmm.
However, I think a number of things just got put on hold, especially as staff was reduced in a number of companies, specifically in HR departments, talent acquisition, comp, etc. And so I think a lot of things went off the to do list. And have you seen that, Heather? That things went off the to do list.
Oh, definitely. I think we've seen we were just talking about this and the trends that we saw last year, and now it's catching up with organizations for things that they did not put at the forefront that they're now scurrying to get that done, and that's where we've been able to help quite a few people, quite a few companies.
It's interesting that our on demand model has started to flourish. Well, the fractional model has always flourished, where we function as a part of your team and we do the work, and that's been either short term or long term fractional work, and then that's done really well. But interesting is the more immediate on demand model where they'll call you for some assistance, or they will call our comp team for some real time assistance. And maybe it's just for a couple of hours of work for something that they need. And we'll do whatever needs to be done, do that analysis, do that work, and then turn it around and give it back to them. And so it's an extension of your team. It's
Hmm.
not that you're paying a big consulting fee, or you have to commit a large amount of money to an SOW. It's really more of an immediate need. So I know you've been working in that environment with us, Heather. Tell us a little bit about that, how that's been working for you and for
Yeah,
the company.
it's ranged from a lot of compliance is what we're seeing a lot of. That our clients, as they're bringing new leadership or doing a review of current state, realize, gosh, we're not where we need to be. We've not paid attention to this or ignored it last year, and have leaned upon us. Whether it's planned as a project, or a good example is I received a call last night from a client that had a 911 need for something to be done for their new CEO, and we hopped right on top of it to make sure they had everything they needed by this morning. Other examples can be something like payroll, or even we had something come up with another client yesterday, actually like last night, regarding background checks and how to handle the adverse um, records, and how to make sure they're following and being compliant when turning someone away because they're not following within the guidelines of what's acceptable. And again, that came up last night as well. So we are available, to take care of things, whether it's something planned and, a projected out, if that's even a word, or if it's a 911 last minute, I need help, and we can take care of it.
Yeah, we're available, which is really cool with being able to help out, especially if you maybe don't have an HR department anymore, because I know that may sound a little bit odd, but we found a number of companies have just let go of their entire HR department. There's another company that we're working with, and they recently let go of their entire HR department. So they've said, hey, we don't think that we need a whole HR department. You guys have worked with us in the past, and we're going to tap into you as needed. And so we're doing work for them. We just did some comp analysis for them that they needed. So it's a model that's continuing to gain traction and really working well, I think, for both us and the client. So I think that's and that goes back to what we started to talk about for 2023. People who didn't do specific things, they didn't have the budget for it, or there was reduction in staff, were able to come in and help you address some of those needs, or any of those needs in 2024. And you're right, the compliance stuff, it's not going to go away. I mean, if you're not doing your AAP plan, if you're not doing your VETS 100 or your EEOC reports, or you're not investigating employee relations cases in the right way, or you're not doing benchmarking of jobs that are still competitive to hire for, which there are jobs that are competitive to hire for. I mean, the list is somewhat endless. If you're not doing those things, you still have to do them, and so we're here to assist in doing them. And there's also hiring. You're going to have positions that you're going to have to hire for, and maybe you don't have a TA department anymore, and maybe you need some assistance with hiring. And that's kind of a little segue into the fact that U.S. Venture News just recognized us as one of the most influential talent acquisition firms in Texas and in Austin, Texas. So we were pretty pumped about that. So we're definitely making a lot of great traction on what we're doing with our proprietary recruiting system and AI. So if you add and the fact that we're a lot less than other companies are charging. So especially for those big jobs where you're looking for somebody at the C-suite, our placement rate is really unparalleled, and we're a lot more affordable than some of these other larger companies that charge a small fortune, or you could buy a small island with what they charge to hire a C-suite. So so keep us in mind for your talent acquisition needs, or if you need us as an RPO, we've functioned as that, where we can hire 10, 15, 20 people. If you want us to do that and you don't want to have a team, and we'll bring in the whole ball of wax, including the ATS and the sourcers and the recruiters and all of that, and make all those hires for you for less money and for a much quicker time, quicker turnaround time and higher time than other agencies or other companies are doing. So we're all over that.
Yeah, I mean, and recently we placed this past year a VP of HR, a chief medical officer, and a chief revenue officer.
Yeah, those are just like in the last 3 months. So we've been doing some really great C-level hiring. So we're excited about that. So we're able to do that for folks.
And it's smaller companies too. One other thing that we saw, I don't know if it's a lack of due diligence, but maybe just not having an HR team in place to change systems. And we have a client that changed their payroll system towards the end of last year, and it did not turn out well. And so we're able to jump in, whether it's the beginning, the middle, or towards the end, to help get things cleaned up and working as they should, so that the C-level team is not spending time on a phone with a help desk getting things right, because that can be very frustrating. You don't want to mess with people's pay. That's one of the big no-nos. And so ensuring that your system is up to speed and doing what you need to do, and that you're compliant. Again, there were several compliant issues that we were able to help with and jump in towards the middle to get things running smoothly.
We have some smaller organizations that we work with, 85, 100 people, a number of those. And when you're that size, like the CFO is jumping in to help figure out payroll. I mean, they're jumping in, especially if they don't have an HR department. Like a couple of these didn't have HR departments. And so the CFO and the accounting folks, they're all jumping in, trying to figure out how to implement a payroll system or make it work. And so they've actually got other jobs that they should be focusing on. I'm not saying payroll isn't important. It's super important. And as somebody who managed global payroll in several companies for many years, I recognize the dedication you have to make sure payroll runs right. But by the same token, if you're the CFO or the accounting officer or the director of accounting, you don't want to be spending time on that. So we've come in a number of situations and we've taken over and fixed those payroll issues. And that seems to be something I've done a lot of in my career. It just keeps following me, which is cool. I don't mind it. But yeah, I mean, if you don't want to be spending time fixing payroll systems or converting new payroll system, give us a call. We'll help you out. We're here for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw a list of some things that easily could have been forgotten. Diversity and inclusion, employee engagement. We're seeing, I think, some trends where, going back to the office, that employers are not nurturing the employee community as much as they were before. So roles have changed, or things have switched around a little bit.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that that's happening, that employers are being less caring and altruistic than they were when it was harder to find people and harder to recruit. It seems like managers and directors and VPs sometimes turn that part of their brain off pretty quickly when things are not, when things are going poorly. They're not as welcoming and supportive of employees, and we don't recommend that as an approach, because the pendulum always swings. So the pendulum swings to, it's hard to get a job, and then the pendulum will swing to, oh boy, there's a lot of hiring happening and people will be exiting, and people will remember how you treated them during the bad times, and you want to make sure that you've treated them well, because you don't want them bolting for the door as soon as the first sign that things are getting better and they can leave, which is typically what happens. So we want to make sure that we're working with companies, helping them understand that.
Yeah, and staying away from the flavor of the day or flavor of the month, but being consistent in your culture and your mission. So it's the culture is not changing with the economy or what have you. It's staying consistent.
What is the flavor of the day? Is it caramel? What is it? I love caramel.
I would like for it to be chocolate. I like chocolate.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. The flavor of the day. I think the flavor of the day is what you just said. I think you're pretty correct. It's basically get to work, don't complain, and be happy you have a job. Right? Yeah. I think that's what we're seeing.
That is, I think, definitely what we're seeing now, which is a big change from a year or so ago.
Yeah, and all this other stuff. If we're going to buy you lunch, and we're bringing in classes for you to learn how to, do underwater basket weaving or whatever it is. And
underwater basket weaving.
Yeah. And then, all of these things that employers were doing to, placate the workforce to make them happy because they had to come back into the office or return to work, or they were sending them gifts in the mail, or doing virtual events with wine or whiskey or whatever, and celebrating they couldn't be in person, and just really taking care of everyone is basically, I think, somewhat morphed into get back to work and just work. Don't bother us.
Yeah, gone. And to that point, we don't work with just any company. We align ourselves with organizations that have an alignment with our culture and our um, desire to be, a good organization, good to people. And I have to say, our clients, they're just pretty darn awesome, and we've really, been able to help them work through being able to care for their employees and care for what their needs are, and it's certainly awesome to be a part of that, or even helping organizations that maybe aren't there to get there.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, there are organizations that will say, "Hey, we're not here. We want to be here. How do you help us get there?" And that's really great when you have a company that has that maturity to understand that there's things that they need
Mhm.
to do better. And we really like that, and we really like working with those companies. And we really enjoy people that are engaged. I think
Right.
if you're going to work with a consulting firm to get help or a HR services firm, you should be engaged. If you're just gonna throw,
Bare minimum.
whatever it is over the fence and not really care,
Mhm.
then maybe you should stay in 2023 and not do it. So if you are going to do it, we want to make sure that you're engaged and we want to engage with you and make sure it's a productive relationship. There's nothing more disappointing for us when we just feel like we're doing the work and it's getting done, but we don't feel like the client is as engaged as they could
Mhm.
because we want to see that work, amplified in terms of what we're doing. But we would love to work with you. So I guess that's what we're saying, and we love working with engaged customers who want to and clients who want to make a difference.
Yeah.
And if you've neglected some things in 2023, 2024 is now your chance to catch up and take a look at it and give us a call and chat about what you need. It could be something that we can help you with on the fly. It could be a more detailed project. It could be a more longer project. So we're super excited to help and work with people. And I think we have a number of different ways and a number of different solutions that we can bring to bear to help somebody out.
And customize whatever it is that they're needing. It's not a cookie cutter.
Cookie cutter. It's not
Mhm.
one size fits all.
No.
Actually, one size fits most.
There you go.
Isn't
Uh,
that the new term? One size fits most.
yeah, that way, they don't get in trouble for that's
Yeah,
a good one.
exactly. Like you promised this would fit me, but I have a really big head and it doesn't fit.
So you're not most.
Yeah, I'm not. You see, I'm not most. See, there you go. Well, we're excited to talk probably next week. I think we've committed to talking to folks about the calendar of things that are coming up
Okay.
for the rest of the year. And it's pretty impressive the amount of places that we're at and the amount of things that we're doing. So we've devised a more divide and conquer uh, structure this year. So we're going to be out on the road, and I think Ray Ramirez, who had another commitment, will be going to some things. I'll be going to some things. You'll be going to some things. So we'll be
Mhm.
deployed, more fully across the globe at some of our speaking events and conferences and other things that we're going to be doing. So we're excited about that. So I think I'm going to be in Cincinnati. I
Mhm.
think I'm going to be in Florida. I think I'm going to be in. I definitely know. I think I'm going to be in Houston. So as we get we're going to try to lock those dates in, but we'll tell you where we're going to be next week. So we're super excited about that.
Yeah, it's gonna 2024, is gonna be a great year.
Yes, I've got to get my running shoes on for all the time in the airport. It's going to be coming up.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Anything else, Heather, that I've missed that we should kick around before we let people get back to work or do whatever they're going to go do? Go play in the snow?
Yeah, right? No, I think that, we've been able to touch on that. Would love to hear from you if you just wanna talk about, any struggles that you have and might need help. We're available either through LinkedIn, or our email addresses are scrolling at the bottom. Where you can get
And we have
through the
I mean,
website.
we have a phone number. I mean, you can actually call us. So
Mhm.
we're really serious about this. If you have an HR issue that you need resolved and you need help, whether it's comp, benefits, employee relations, if it's mergers and acquisitions, if it's just about anything that you can think of, you can actually call us. And our website is on our page, is on thrivehrconsulting.com. Hey, can you pull it up? Just tell people our phone number, because I don't remember it off the top of my head, although you think I should.
Yes, I sure can.
So you can actually call us, and you can go into the spell my name directory, and you can ask for me, you can ask for Heather, you can ask for Ray. You can call us and we'll help you with your issue. And our number, Heather, is what?
Pulling it up slowly, is 1-888-393-3453.
And one more time, for those who may have not gotten it as they were sitting on the couch and didn't have a pen next to them.
It is
Just like QVC.
1-888-393-3453.
And seriously, you can call us. People call us in real time. So we're happy to take your call, figure it out, and work with you. So we're available. There it is. 1-888-393-3453. This is like KQED. You know, public broadcasting. I
There you
feel
go.
like I'm soliciting for donations. 1-888-393-3453. Call us with anything. We're here for you. And we'll throw in a no, we won't throw in anything. We'll just throw in
a brand new car. Everybody.
we'll throw in an extra what is it? The smiley face sponge. What was it? Remember on Shark Tank? What is it called? Oh my gosh, I'm blinking out.
I don't know.
Mr. Somebody will correct me. Somebody will tell me what I forgot. But yeah, so just give us a call. We're here. We're available, and we look forward to talking to you. All right. Anything else, Heather?
Nope. We'll see everyone next week.
All right. You guys are awesome. We'll talk later. Bye.